y'all. Welcome back to my channel. I am Havootu, and today I'm going to talk about my relationship with the divine masculine, God, Father God, benevolent God, all those things, and how I was able to heal my relationship with the masculine energy. Stay tuned. Okay, so my history with men, masculine energy in general, has been very toxic. From childhood all the way to adulthood. Um, now, I don't want to speak ill of my father because I do love my father very much and we're cool. But it was not that great of a relationship. My father is a very stern, proud kind of man. And that oftentimes clashed with the reality of who I am. He had his own set of, y'all know, like y'all know, especially Southern men, older men. My father's an older man. They have their own way of thinking, their own expectations, and there's a lot of trauma that went with that even I still don't know about. But there was a lot of trauma there in his childhood with his father, so it only made sense that that would be the relationship we had. Um, but that really traumatized me from a child all the way up to adulthood. I found myself meeting him over and over again in men and just having that negative relationship, negative self view, just negative energy all around. And just me not loving myself amplified that, just the need to be loved and all of this by the masculine energy. And it was just very, very toxic. Um, after my last major relationship, if you want to call it that, situationship or whatever, I was so destroyed by that relationship because it was, with the sad part about it, it was so apparent that he was exactly like my father that even my family pointed it out. Even though they don't look alike, they acted a lot alike. And so I'm like, it was just one of those things where I basically attracted my trauma. So after that relationship, I was completely destroyed. Like I wanted, and so I was still a Christian then, so I was going heavy into my Christianity, and I wanted nothing to do with men, like nothing whatsoever in any form, shape, or capacity to do with any man, period. And I lived like that for about 4 years, where I just wanted nothing to do. I was actually celibate for 8 years. And out of those 4.5 years, of those 8 years, I wanted nothing to do with men. And even after that, it took some time to like get up to even wanting to date because that just it was very traumatic and very hurtful. I just wanted way more than he was willing to give. And I feel like in some ways he was very open, but other ways he just was toxic and didn't handle things well. And it was traumatic. So my relationship with the masculine was pretty much non-existent. I don't feel like there was just a pinnacle moment per se before this experience that I'm going to talk about. There was moments where it kept getting better. Like I would increase my own self-love and my own just improving myself and how I thought and how I saw myself. And my choosing of men would get better and better each time. So I'm very proud of myself for that. That is progress in my opinion, okay? But it still wasn't a very trusting relationship. And to be honest, if I'm totally honest, I'm still learning how to trust masculine energy even now. So the healing continues, but the pinnacle of just being able to connect with the masculine energy, that was pretty much non-existent for years. um so when I started to reconnect with the mother goddess, I thought my relationship with the masculine was okay. I was still having issues just being able to listen to and deal with men, because my relationship with men would either be like way too trusting or wanting too much, or just too much or too much, or just being completely like fuck all you men and treating men like shit, like just like straight dogging men and just finding men who like that shit. It's men who don't think that they like that, but they actually love being told that they ain't shit. But I didn't want to be a part of that shit anymore. So I just locked myself away and just dealt with my own self with the mother goddess and took the time to really get to know her on that level. I mean, I wouldn't even really I would listen to some male music, but most of my music was women because I just didn't want nothing to do with men. On a spiritual level, even though I could be with men, I could have guys that I talk to spiritually, I wanted nothing to do with men. So me reconnecting with the mother goddess and really talking to her about a lot of things that I was going through, I could feel. I could feel there was something she was about to push me into. And she always warns me. Sometimes she'll tell me verbally, like, hey, something's about to happen. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be all right, but you're not going to like it. And I got one of those little warnings, like, okay, what does this mean? So I ended up, I'll never forget this. I might cry. I just might cry. So one day, I remember this like it was yesterday. I had went to see my father, and it wasn't the best visit. And I left crying. I was feeling really vulnerable. In that day, I really needed my father, and he just wasn't emotionally available. And it's certain things that he would do sometimes that just is hurtful. But I understand that he doesn't really know how to be any other way right now. And so I've just come to accept this is just how he is. And all I can do is just hope that one day he'll have a better relationship with himself to in turn have a better relationship with the people around him. But anyways, it wasn't the best visit for me. And I left. I was in my car crying. And I came home and I was in the bathroom. So usually the bathroom is the most transformational space in the house. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all can relate. So I was in the bathroom and I was talking to the mother and I was crying. I'm like, why? And I just hated that I had this type of relationship with not just him, but masculine energy on earth in general. And it was just so frustrating. I'm just airing out my frustrations to the mother. I'm like, I just want to be able to heal this feeling because I just don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to be angry anymore. It's just so angry at men, so angry at my father, so angry at the masculine complex of how this world works in general, just so fucking angry. It's like I just don't want to be angry anymore. I just want to be better. And so she said, okay, I'm in her arms and she's hugging me. She says, okay, I know what to do. And she turned me around spiritually. I'm still, in the bathroom. She turns me around spiritually and pushes me in a room, four-walled room with the masculine energy. Masculine. This big man. And closes the door behind me. And there's a window. And I go to the window and I'm like, what the fuck? Let me out of here. And she's like, no, you need to face this. You need to be able to deal with this. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move forward. And so I'm like, fuck this. Try to open the door. That hoe ain't opening. And so I ended up turning around and there's admittedly this fine. I guess Goddess Mother knew that he has to be at least pleasurable to look at, okay? This fine black. I love my black man, honey. Okay. Black. Tall. I couldn't even see his face. He was so tall. Like his whole body reached up into the tallest part of the room and it was dark. And it wasn't necessarily that he just had a face. He had the the silhouette of a face, but it was just black, like the blackness of, but his body was of a black man. And he was muscular and just fine as fuck. And so I turned to him and I'm just so fucking angry. I just start punching, just pow, 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 pow. Like punching at his chest, just like, I hate you. And just release all of that, I'm like screaming. I'm in the bathroom, y'all. This is in a I'm in a trance state, but my body is still, my chair is all, I have an old chair I'm sitting on. My body is still functioning like normal, and I'm just like punching at the air. Like, I'm just saying, like, I fucking hate you. I hate everything you are. I hate everything that you stand for. You ain't nothing but a piece of shit. I hate all fucking men. All of y'all motherfuckers can go fuck yourself in the asshole. Fuck y'all. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate everything you've said to me, everything that you've done to me. I hate everything about you. Go fuck yourself. I hate you. I hate you. I just kept saying, I hate you. I hate you. And just punching the air. Like, but in my mind, I'm punching him, like, and he's just taking it. He's just not saying anything. And I can see his face, like, looking down at me as I'm punching him. It's like, fucking big ripped ass chest. And he's just like, he's not saying anything. He's not fighting back. He's just taking it. He's taking it up the ass. No. Stalkers. Okay. Let's get back on track. So I'm punching the air. And I'm pissed. And I'm crying. And eventually I get tired. Because it's only so long you can punch the air. And I'm just like exhausted. And at this point, I'm just boo-hooing, just like big ugly ass cry, boo-hooing, like, why you doing to me? Like, why you doing this? And there was this towel hanging on the edge of the shower, and I'm just grabbing it, and all of a sudden I'm just like crying, just big ugly ass tears, and I just fall into his arms. I fall into his chest, and I'm just like a big baby. Like, I probably cried. I probably cried for a strong hour solid. I'm holding on to this towel for like dear life. And just boo-hooing. The towel was soaking wet by the time I got through because I cried my ass. I cried so hard I didn't even have a voice afterwards. And he wraps his arms around me as I'm laying in his chest and just crying my face out. And he wraps his arms around me, and he's just like doing one of these numbers. And I'm just talking to him, just telling him all the things that your counterparts that occupy, that you occupy, all the men that's ever hurt me, starting with the first one, all of the men who has treated me like I didn't deserve, who's treated me like shit. The whole male complex that is the current state of the world. Just like, how could you allow this is going to make me cry. How could you allow, you're supposed to be this loving creature. I know that the masculine energy is not inherently evil. I know that. But I know also that when it's unbalanced, it can be very evil. But it's like, how could you allow these men who are supposed to be protectors of women, of children, who's supposed to be caring for our culture, who's supposed to be the ones that are the backbone of society, just how could you let these fuck niggas run this world like this into the ground? Like, how could you? Like, I'm just asking all these questions. I'm not expecting an answer. I just don't understand. And he didn't say anything, but there was an energy of I'm sorry. That part. Just hearing I'm sorry. Because no men. I'm crying. No man, for all the shit that they have done, no man has ever told me he was sorry. None. Not fucking one. He said, I'm still hurt over some things. Not gonna lie. But I'm not angry like I used to be. I'm not angry anymore because I understand that when you work out of balance, when you work out of harmony, this experience gave me so much compassion for men because I understand that in the way men are raised nowadays is so ridiculously, relentlessly sad and unbalanced. Men are expected to be this stone. They are made to believe that to be feminine, to step into their feminine energy is weak. Any man, any person, man or woman, that only lives in one side of themselves, even a woman living in all feminine energy, you can never fully embrace all of yourself if you're only in that feminine energy. You could never be everything that you would like to be if you're constantly being in this masculine energy. So many men, there's so much pain. I feel like the reason why there's so many men who want to take the form of women is because a lot of men have never been allowed to be feminine. They're not allowed to cry. They're not allowed to speak up for themselves when they're in pain. They're just meant to take it. How do you expect a culture of men to really live and thrive if their whole existence is only to be in this masculine aspect? You know, you a boy, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. He's going to end up the same way, just angry and sad. There's so many men in this world that are so angry and so sad because they could never fully flourish in the way that they want to because they believe that their feminine aspect either makes them gay or it makes them weak, or it just they can't even be comfortable in it. And so after that experience, I feel so sad for men. I feel in a lot of ways, not all, obviously, women have been objectified for tons of different reasons, but in a lot of ways, we do have freedom that men don't have. Women have the ability to flow better in masculine, flow easier in masculine and feminine energy if we choose to, because there's no expectation of how we should act per se in terms of being masculine or feminine or how we should be. But with men, they're expected to be a stone. They don't cry. Just this whole aggression thing. There's not the fluidity, even especially amongst each other. I just came from a job where I worked around a lot of men, and the abuse amongst each other. And I'm not talking about like from a women's perspective. I'm talking about in general. The shit that they say to each other. Like, I just how could you flourish? Even if a guy who would say something that they would even slightly think was gay, it's just like all out verbal war with each other. It's like we really, as women, I feel now more than ever, it's our responsibility to allow boys to be. Because a lot of times people think that they're one way or the other, when in reality, all they want to do is just express their entire selves. And just not being able to tends to make people get thrown from one end of the spectrum to the other. For me, being thrown into the total man hate spectrum into something more balanced, which is what I'm heading towards. Because I still got things to work out, but it gave me more compassion. It gave me a better view into the male mind, into the problems that we have in this world, and opened up my perspective. And I'm super grateful for that. And after that experience, I spent some days with the masculine, from the shower to my bed to wherever in life. But those intimate moments of being, having the effects of a father and a lover, having that energy of I'll hear you. I'll hear you. And I didn't even know that masculine energy could be nurturing. Like, that's how far off that I have never experienced. I had never experienced masculine nurturing. And it's a different type of nurturing that you would get from your mother. It is from the mother, it is more of a more of a peace. For the mother, it's more of a loving, gentle, um I don't know how to fully explain that, but with the father, with the masculine energy, it's more of a stern, protective type of energy that is loving and peaceful, and that feeling of being heard, and the feeling of just being in general protected from anything, even your own thoughts, just being protected from all that, and just really just being heard. I feel like with the mother, it's a constant active dialogue. With the father, it's something, a relationship more where I go to offload, offload all of the masculine expectations of this world of having to just survive. It's a place to really offload and not have to worry for a while. Now that relationship has translated into my regular everyday life. So if I need to get something done in like a car or my house, like things like that, I've actively taken the time to work with that masculine energy and say, hey, I need this work done, but the mental minutia of having to figure out a person and find out all of this, how do I know if they're right? Father, masculine energy, Father God. I call him benevolent God. Benevolent God was like, listen, don't worry about it. I'm going to go off and I am going to find someone for you who is going to give you the information that you need, who's going to be honest, who's going to take care of the job for a reasonable price, and you won't have to do a thing. He brought me somebody who was well spoken, who didn't have no arrogant ass attitude like they know everything, who was honest about the issue, who took pictures, who was very thorough about what they were going to do. He brought me someone who was thorough, who could do the job for the amount of money that I had, and I didn't have to lift a finger. That part. That part. That part. Shout out to my mother because she was the one who made the calls. So shout out to her for that. But as far as bringing the right person in, super grateful. Just understanding that I could really rest and relax in that masculine energy. I can relax in it even when I have to be masculine, but relax in that benevolent energy that's working for me, that always has my best interest at heart. That's why I call him the father lover. He has a fathering aspect of being able to hear me out and give me that support like a father should. And also that lover aspect where, you know, when I'm feeling naughty. Just that lover aspect of being able to be held and just being sensual, and just sometimes I just lay in my bed in his arms. He'll just appear underneath me, appear in my bed. Just I can just relax and rest in that space. And that has been beyond healing. That has opened me up to even want to be in a real relationship, like the relationship of my dreams. I already know it's on its way. I'm manifesting in that, boo. I manifested in that. Okay. I know that the relationship of my dreams is on its way right now. And just being able to be comfortable enough to open myself up for that blessing. Before, I wasn't even open for it. I didn't want to hear nothing about it. And even when I was open for it, I was not accepting because I feel like I could not trust. I'm in a space now where I only attract men who have my best interest at heart. Any man who don't got my best interest at heart, he can't stay around. Like, he's disgusted by me. That's what I say. He's disgusted by me. He don't want nothing to do with me because he already know he gonna catch that heat if he come my way. Okay? That's all I gotta say about it. Just putting into my mind, I only attract amazing men. I only attract men who want to help me, who actually have something amazing to say, who are catering and loving and just who honor the goddess in all her forms. Just that's the type of men that I attract, period. And I had to come to that understanding even more recently, like some things that I allowed into my life that I should not have. But even in that situation, I still attracted someone who understood that we can be cool, but don't fuck with me. We can be cool. You know, we had our little moment, you know, we did a little thing, but that's it. Like, that's it. You're not, I understood you're not what I want. You're not what I deserve. And so I am going to claim what it is I know I deserve. And that's it. And masculine energy stood with me in that. And that's all I've been attracting. Just even when I just go out, man, do you need help with that? Can I help you with it? It's just, I'm just understanding you don't have to be in that constant, so fucking exhausted. I can't I ain't got time. I'm tired. I'm tired of that. I wants to be a woman. Okay, I am a woman. I wants to rest in that feminine energy. I want to love from that feminine energy. I deserve a masculine equivalent to my goddess. I deserve my God. Okay, and he's on his way, honey. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me in this video. I hope that this information was helpful for you and maybe gave you ideas on how you would like to connect with the divine masculine. If you have any questions on things that you can do, just hit me up below and we'll talk about it. But that's my story on how I reconnected with the divine masculine. It was through my relationship with the divine feminine, and it has been so supportive and so loving, and I am beyond grateful. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to, go ahead and subscribe if you like more content like this, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.